Hello, I'm doing a video review of a Journey OF660 travel guitar. I purchased this guitar online about 8 months ago, and I wanted to just talk about what I like about it and give you an idea of what it's about. Before I talk about the guitar, I want to give you a brief history about my experience with travel guitars, just because I think it's relevant to the review. I've been playing the guitar for about 37 years, and initially I played mainly, I would just take an old dreadnought, an old beat up dreadnought wherever I went. I didn't care what happened to it. Take it camping, whatever. It was kind of big, wasn't always the best option. And so I went ahead and got my first travel guitar. It was a Martin backpacker. I know a lot of people have really given those things a hard time, but I actually liked it a lot. I thought it was a very nice guitar for being a travel guitar. But I do a lot of fingerstyle playing, especially when I'm in a quiet place like a hotel room, and it just wasn't really great for fingerstyle for me. So I got rid of that one, and I bought another guitar that was called a guitarlele. It's basically a guitar about the size of a ukulele. So that one was very easy to travel with. I get a lot of comments from people, oh, is that a violin you're carrying? And very nice little guitar, but it was just, I didn't like it. It was very uncomfortable to play. I didn't like the way it sounded. And so I got rid of that one, and I got a parlor guitar, which, if you're familiar with guitar sizes, parlors are a nice smaller size guitar, but they still have a nice sound, nice tone. Played very well. It was an all solid body. I enjoyed that one a lot. Took that one all over the country. Took it actually internationally in a couple countries. It was a very nice guitar to travel with. But a lot of the airlines now, these last few years, they've been really giving me a harder time with bringing it into the cabin, and they've been forcing me to check it at the gate, and I just don't trust how they're going to handle these things. I've seen how some of these baggage handlers throw the bags around and stuff. So a couple of years ago, I started looking into this travel guitar, the OF660, or just the Journey instruments with the detachable necks, and at first I was extremely skeptical, and I just said, no way, I'm not gonna get a neck or a guitar where the neck comes off. That just sounds kind of crazy. But the more I looked into it over the next probably year and a half or so, the more I thought this might be a good option. I saw a lot of positive reviews about it, and so I went ahead and tried it. And about 8 months ago, I bought a Journey OF660. And I would just say I've been very, very happy with it. I wanted to make sure I used it a few times. Took it camping, took it bike rides, took it on planes. I wanted to make sure I used it a bit before I was able to give a review. And so here it is. So this is the OF660 inside this case. And I want to start out, actually, usually when you do a guitar review, you're not talking about the case, you're talking about the guitar. But I wanted to start with the case because I think for the purpose of talking about a travel guitar, the case is actually a very important thing to talk about. First of all, these straps actually, you can detach them and stick them inside here, or you can bring them out and use them as a backpack. When I have this thing on as a backpack, I hardly notice it. It's just a very, very comfortable backpack to wear. And as you notice, as you look at this, it's got some very good functional pockets. If I were to give the guitar a review on a scale of 1 to 5, I'd give it a 5. If I were to give the case a review, I'd say on a scale of 1 to 5, it's a 4. And the reason why I'd say that is because I love everything about it except that the zippers, a couple of the zippers are kind of clunky. They're kind of in awkward spots here, and sometimes when it gets full of stuff, a couple of them can be kind of hard to use. Just a little bit of a minor problem, first world problem. But overall, the pockets are great. You got this one here that you can put some gear in. This is a nice pocket that has like a nice felt interior. And then this is actually the pocket that I think is, to me, the most important one, the most valuable one. This is essentially, it becomes my computer bag. So when I'm traveling, especially for business, this pocket actually works very well as a computer bag. I don't take my computer bag anymore when I travel for business. I just take this thing. And as you can see, there's a nice pocket here, a nice pocket here. I've got an extra set of strings and just some computer adapters and things in here. And then you can actually fit a laptop in here, not a 17-inch, but just a regular size laptop or smaller. You can also fit like an iPad. iPad is actually extremely roomy. I mean, there's tons of room left over if you put an iPad in there. Sometimes I do both. Sometimes I put a computer in here and I put the laptop in here, and I'm able to close it, and you know, I can put a book in here, so notebooks, whatever. So this works very well. And then what I typically do is, instead of having my briefcase, I have this as my computer bag, and this goes in the overhead, and then my duffel bag just goes in the seat in front of me, and I'm not checking any bags in that way. So now I want to get into the actual guitar. As you can see, it's a very nice small size. Fits extremely well in an overhead compartment. I have flown on, you know, regular size planes where you've got, you know, 3 seats on each side and pretty good size overhead compartments. You got tons of room left over with that. I've also flown in smaller. There was one time I was on a smaller plane. The overhead compartments were considerably smaller, and it fit very, very well in there. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up, and you will see, here's the guitar. I have it kind of, you know, set in there nicely. I'm going to go ahead and move this camera here and slide it down a little bit so you can see this better. So it's got this nice flap here with Velcro that holds the strings in place, so that when it's packed away, the strings aren't flopping all over the place. And then the neck, it's tucked in here nicely, and in this way what happens is the strings all stay in their order. And again, this is something that I was extremely skeptical about when I first was looking into this, because I thought, how can you have a guitar, you know, how can you have it set up well when you've got the neck coming on and going off all the time? So surprisingly, it's done very well. And so typically what I do is I put this piece right here, it goes into here, you just kind of let it rest in there. And then what I do is, before I push it down, I always make sure that the string spacing is kind of where you want it to be at the bridge. But basically all you have to do is just push it in place, and you can hear it click in place. And then what I do, and now the neck's in, that simple. And now what I usually do is, there's a screw here that you have to put on. What I usually do is I just kind of grip it with my legs and then push the neck in and just get it nice and tight. And then when it gets to the point where it's nice and stiff, it's there. It's ready. It's ready to play. This is a matte finish. This one is a navy, and it's got some, you know, parts of it are black and parts, and this part at the top is navy. And it's got this, you know, the sound holes up here on top. At first I wasn't sure if I'd like that, because especially when I strum, I tend to hit the guitar, and I was afraid it might be a bother, but it's actually been fine. This is a shorter scale guitar. I think it's 24 3/4 of the scale length. This one has a nut that's 1 3/4 inch nut. The string spacing at the saddle is 2 1/4 inch, so very comfortable. I like, you know, that for fingerstyle. I don't do very well with the very narrow string spacing. This has a nice little, I don't know what you'd call that, just a little bracket there that holds the strings in place, so that when you pop the neck off, the strings aren't flopping off the nut. They just kind of stay on the nut. I haven't actually changed my strings on this one yet. This came with some elixirs, and the last time I played them, they still sounded fine, so I haven't changed it yet. So I'm not sure how hard it is to change, but I would imagine all you have to do is take this guard off and then change it like you change regular strings. When I got this, it did come with, I think, an extra bridge pin, and it also came with a pick guard and just kind of a packet with the other things. So if you want to put the pick guard in there, you can. I'm fine without it. I mostly use it for fingerstyle. I've noticed when I saw some reviews, some people were saying that when they put it back on, the guitar is always it's pretty close to being in tune. As you can tell, it's not in tune. I haven't pulled this out in a couple months, so but yeah, it's pretty easy to tune, so it's not to me that's not a big deal. One thing also to mention is this guitar came with 2 saddles. One saddle is a little bit higher than the other. One, I think the higher one you probably use more for strumming. The lower one you probably use for softer playing. When I'm like in a hotel room or whatever, I like to have a guitar just to pull out and play in. And so I do a lot of fingerstyle. So I'm going to go ahead and I've got a tuner inside this case. So I'm just going to go ahead and tune this guitar, and then I'll go ahead and play it for you. Okay, so I just tuned it. Sometimes when you tune it, or after you put the neck on, sometimes what happens is the neck, the strings are a little too sharp. Sometimes they're too flat, and I think that has to do with how tight you put the neck on the last time you played it. But I'm just going to go ahead and play a little bit, and you can see what you think of the sound. Keep in mind these strings are kind of old. I haven't changed them yet. So. The intonation as you go up the neck is very good. I haven't had any problems with that. Some guitars, when they're not properly intonated, as you go up the neck, they start going sharp or flat. This one sounds great all the way up and down the neck. So yeah, it's a very nice guitar. It sounds great, plays great, feels great. Very good quality, sturdy construction. I've been very impressed with that as well. And I like the fact that this one is carbon fiber. They do make some in other materials. I saw some in different types of laminated woods. I saw some in mahogany or rosewood. I think I even saw one in koa. But I like the carbon fiber. I've noticed that I've seen some videos where people have had some carbon fiber guitars or ukuleles where they've dropped bricks on them or drove a car over them or whatever, and they they seem to hold up pretty well. So I figure people throwing suitcases on top of it might not be so bad. So but yeah, it's a great guitar. I've been very happy with it, and I would recommend it. They are a little pricey for a travel guitar. That was one of my reservations of getting one of these. This particular model in 2023 was $1,400 was the list price, and so you can maybe come down a little bit depending on the store that you get it from, but that's what they list for, which to me that was a little bit pricey for a travel guitar. I don't want to lose or have a guitar damage at that price, but it does work very well, and so I've been pretty happy with it. It's also got a beveled armrest, which is very comfortable for when you're playing, especially for a long time, and it also comes with a pickup. I haven't used the pickup like for recording or on stage or anything yet, but I have plugged it in and tested it out just to see if it works, and it doesn't indeed work. But yeah, overall I'd say it's a good guitar. I would recommend it if you do a lot of traveling, especially if you're in planes and you're looking for something that you could put in an overhead bin. I would definitely recommend it. So that's my review. Feel free to leave any questions or comments below, and I'd be happy to respond to those. And I hope you have good luck in finding whatever you're looking for with your travel guitar needs. Thanks. Bye.